Marco Asensio's 8th goal of the and second of this Copa del Rey put an end to an unlikely Real Madrid winless run in a 1-0 victory at Leganés. MLS 2018 mock superdraft. The 21-year-old darted in front of a defender to volley home from in tight, giving Real Madrid a first-leg lead in the tournament quarterfinals. More importantly, perhaps, it gives struggling Real a boost in morale after draws with Celta Vigo and Numancia, and a loss to Villarreal. Real is home to Deportivo de La Coruña in La Liga before hosting Leganés in the second leg. Follow at Nicolas Mendler. Efrain Juarez is bringing his game to Major League Soccer. MLS 2018 mock superdraft. The 39 times capped Mexico veteran has inked a deal with the Vancouver Whitecaps, joining a strengthened unit which came within a point of winning the West last. Juarez, 29, was unveiled as a midfielder by the Caps, though he's primarily played right back in his club career. He's played at Celtic, Real Zaragoza, Club America, Monterrey, and Pumas. Last capped by El Tri in 2012, Juarez has played every position except goal, centre attacking mid, and centre forward in his career. Picture AU on the pitch. "I'm so happy and excited for this new stage in my career," Juarez said. "It's an opportunity for me to keep growing in a new league and to be a part of an amazing club in Vancouver. For the moment they showed interest me, Carl Robinson and the Whitecaps staff have made me feel very important. I promise to put all my effort into this club and do my best to help us achieve our goals." Follow at Nicolas Mendler. Newcastle United owner Mike Ashley is probably happy that his for-sale club is away this weekend, even though his side's up against Manchester City. More top-place storylines. Week 24. That's because hopeful buyer Amanda Staveley has responded to claims that her hopeful takeover of the team won't be happening anytime soon.
Talks had stalled, said Tuesday reports, much to the chagrin of Anne.
A source had said attempts to reach a deal have proved to be exhaustive, frustrating and a complete waste of time, but Staveley shot back on Thursday to reignite the fire. For the BBC, taken from The Times, "Our bid remains on the table. This is an investment, but it has to be a long-term investment. Newcastle would be run as a business, but we want it to be a successful, thriving business that is an absolutely integral part of the city." She also said that popular manager Rafa Benitez is integral to her interest in the team, and that fact, combined with her insistence that an offer remains on the table, will have many Newcastle fans seething with current ownership, and there have been protests for years. It's Ashley's move now. Follow at Nicolas Mendler. Major League Soccer's latest batch of hopeful rookies learn the next steps of the professional careers beginning Friday with the first 2 rounds of the MLS Superdraft. There are several intriguing prospects, including accomplished Stanford center-back Tomas Hilliard and dangerous Michigan winger Francis Artur-Hain. Follow all of PST's MLS coverage. An MLS mock draft is always tricky given the wildly varying opinions on players from the college game. This year, it's even trickier as clubs without picks and some with multiple first-round picks may be looking to move up and down even more than the norm. Here's how we think the draft could play out. LAFC, Tomas Hilliard CB, Stanford LA Galaxy, John Bakero FW, Wake Forest DC United, Francis Artur-Hain FW, Michigan Montreal, Joao Moutinho, Pound, Akron Minnesota, Wyatt Omsberg CB, Dartmouth Orlando City, Imatumazi FW, Wake Forest Montreal, Chris Mueller FW, Wisconsin New England, Mo Adams MF, Syracuse New England, Chris Lima MF, Georgetown Real Salt Lake, Justin Fides, Pound, Washington FC Dallas, Marcelo Acuna FW, Virginia Tech San Jose, Brandon by RB, Western Michigan Sporting KC, Edipoku FW, Virginia Atlanta, Alex Roldan MF, Seattle Chicago, Mason Toy FW, Indiana New York Red Bulls, Alan Wynn MF, North Carolina Vancouver, Tristan Blackman RB, Pacific Sporting KC, John Gallagher FW, Notre Dame New York City FC, Daniel Musovski FW, UNLV Houston, Motero FW, Louisville Columbus, Brian White FW, Duke Seattle, Tim Kubel MF, Louisville Toronto FC, Oliver Shannon MF, Clemson. There are a few players to keep an eye on for the later rounds that I won't project for the first round due almost exclusively to first-person bias. Some I've seen play in college, others at other levels. Fonso Panero from Albany produced like crazy until this Bowling Green defender Alexis Suahi has a skill set that could really transmit to the MLS level. Max Steves, Providence, is a prototypical big-body scorer, while Evansville's head Ian McGrath has a flair for the absurd and can play almost every position up the center of the pitch. Charleston's Thomas Van Kuysiel was a D2 monster and is probably worth a shot earlier than people suspect. Follow at Nicolas Mendler. Here's a wild rumor out of Italy, as Gianluca Di Marzio has UEFA Champions League round of 16 sides Chelsea and Roma working out a big transfer. More PSD chats with Dzeko in July. Again, before we lay it out, we know that both clubs would not be able to use cup-tied players in the UCL, and that gives the rumor its unrealistic bent. Chelsea reportedly is willing to send $62 million and striker Michy Batshuayi on loan to Roma in exchange for Edin Dzeko and Emerson Palmieri. Reports say Roma is holding out for another $20 million, potentially add-ons. Dzeko isn't producing at his otherworldly rate of last, but is far and away Lupi's leading scorer and bagged a brace against Chelsea in the UCL. And Batshuayi scored in Chelsea's first 2 matches of the tournament. There is something to the rumor, at least in terms of Emerson. The London Evening Standard quotes the player's agent as saying talks are ongoing and the move is a dream one for Emerson, who is behind Alexander Kolarov on the left-back depth chart since returning from injury. Roma would need a UCL-eligible centre-forward, as Czech youngster Patrik Schick has been unable to find his scoring boots since the summer move from Sampdoria. Football Italia says, sensationally, that Roma would use some of the money to pry Daniel Sturridge from Liverpool. Maybe the Emerson move goes through, but the striker swap feels like a head-scratcher for Dzeko and Chelsea. Follow at Nicolas Mendler.